bloating, abdominal pain, you might have leaky gut. So stick around today to learn how I healed my gut with functional medicine and how, as a functional medicine provider, I've helped hundreds of patients and clients heal their guts too. Hit the subscribe button to hear more about how to heal your gut through functional medicine, and hit the bell to be notified when I post new videos every Friday to help you with your gut health, to have a healthier gut, live a more vibrant, energetic, and normal life. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Dr. Shelley Meyer. I'm a registered dietitian. I'm a functional medicine doctor, and I'm a family doctor. And I've helped hundreds of clients and YouTube subscribers and followers heal their gut through functional medicine. It's not easy to heal your gut, and that's why we have channels like this to help you along the way, because conventional medicine often leaves you behind, and if you don't fit into a certain label, you're not really necessarily going to even get them to listen to you. Nonetheless, there's not a lot of solutions out there unless you go the alternative route. So that's what I'm here for, to help you navigate this complicated world and to help you feel better every day. First, let's talk about what is leaky gut. Our gut is basically made to have like these tight lining, and not to have it's made to allow certain things to come through, water and micronutrients, but not big molecules to come through. I'm going to show you a graphic here too. So when you have a leaky gut, that just means it's not tight in the junctions like it's supposed to be, and things are getting through that are not supposed to get through, like food, antigens, which can cause allergic reactions and antibody type reactions, and then toxins can get through, and pathogens like bacteria, virus, parasites, all of that sort of thing can leak through the gut lining. So also when we eat inflammatory foods like gluten, sometimes dairy for some people, take certain medications like antibiotics, proton pump inhibitors, and those include Protonix, omeprazole, Pepcid, those type of things, those can make our guts leakier. And we get things in our blood that we don't want in our blood, and they can cause an autoimmune reaction even. Our body can start to attack itself because of this leaky gut. You can also have bloating, abdominal pain or cramping, diarrhea, constipation, but it can even go further than that into some more like obscure kind of symptoms that you don't think of that are related to the gut, like fatigue, brain fog, rashes, anxiety, depression. All of these things, joint pain, they can be linked to leaky gut. So it is important to take a look at your symptoms and take a look at your reaction to certain foods and take a look at your abdominal pain and your gut health and see how it all might be one thing. It might not be, a certain other disease that a conservative medicine might be focusing on. It might be related to leaky gut. That might be the root cause, and you want to take a look at that. Now, if you've had leaky gut symptoms, any of the ones I mentioned, if you've been diagnosed with it, if you've gone through treatment for it, if you found a good solution, please comment down below, because we really all learn from each other. And I want to hear your story. Everybody else wants to hear your story, and we want to hear how you got better or what you're struggling with, so we can all help each other. So how do we fix a leaky gut? We can't fix it through one step. We have multiple steps. We can't fix it through one step. So if somebody, prescribes you, for example, the prescription for SIBO, the antibiotic, rifaximin or Xifaxan, it's not going to fix it by itself. You need multiple steps. So here's what we do in functional medicine. The short-term fixes may work temporarily, but these symptoms are going to come back unless you do all the steps. And I do have another video on the 5 R's, and that is what I'm going to talk about today, but I'm going to talk about some of the unique things that I use in my practice and that I've seen success with. So first we want to remove the toxins, the pathogens, the allergens, the medications, and this can be complicated. And that's why I have a whole course designated for gut health called Trust Your Gut. And I'm going to have information down below where you can book a call to talk to myself or my staff about, or my team, how we use this course to really transform people's health and how they feel, and to get their gut healthy again and to learn to trust their gut again. But it's complicated. But some things you can do are remove the pathogens. So if you have had H. pylori or like stomach ulcers, that's with the bacteria that can contribute to that. Try to remove those pathogens, whether they be through traditional antibiotics, which I don't love because they can create more leaky gut, or herbs, which is what mainly what I use, an herbal blend, and I'll have some links down below to what I use. Remove any kind of parasite. If you've had parasites, get tested for those, or if you've been tested, make sure you've taken care of those. Remove toxins that can be toxic to our gut. You know, things like excess alcohol, a lot of processed foods can have, you know, the pesticides and the toxins in them. Get that stuff out. Try to get a cleaner gut diet. Remove the gluten, remove the dairy, remove any triggering foods just for a period of time until we repair that gut and see how you respond when you add it back in. You also want to remove other medications like NSAIDs, like ibuprofen, Aleve, sometimes even Tylenol, because that stresses the liver. And even antidepressants. I'm not saying to come off of any of these medicines without your doctor's, without a discussion with your doctor or your provider, because it's not safe for some people to come off of these medications. But you do want to consider coming off of these medications. If you can't, you can't. And then you can use these other steps and try to remove all the other things, because it's never going to be perfect. But we want to remove the biggest triggers for us uniquely and individually. And then another step is we want to replace. We may be missing digestive enzymes, because when our gut gets leaky, we also have these little tiny villi that line our gut. They're like little hairs, and when things get damaged, they get blunted and they can't digest like you normally should be able to. So you do want to maybe replace digestive enzymes, and there's plant-based digestive enzymes for those who don't have as significant of a problem, and then there's pancreatic enzymes that are stronger. So I have some links in the description that shows you some of the protocols I've used. You can also consider replacing betaine HCl. So this is for people who might have low stomach acid. If you have high stomach acid, if you have Barrett's esophagus, if you have stomach ulcers, do not use betaine HCl. But consider replacing betaine HCl. And I have other videos that show you how to do that. I will link those in up here, and then in the description. You also could use something like bitters. Bitters can help you digest better and help replace the digestive juices that we need in order to have a good, healthy gut. Another step would be reestablish. In some of the steps, 4 R's or 5 R's, people call it reinoculate. So basically what it means is getting the good bacteria back into your system, getting like the good probiotics, so a mix of lactobacillus and bifido. I have other videos on probiotics. I'm going to kind of skim over it here. At least 12 strains, usually 20 billion units, maybe even up to 50 or more, depending on what your gut looks like and what you respond to. Consider something with Saccharomyces boulardii in it, which can really help if you've had stomach acid issues or issues with getting sick a lot, or yeast. That can be very helpful. You also want to repair the gut lining, and things that can help repair the gut lining are omega-3s, making sure you get 1 to 2 grams of omega-3s per day of the DHA and EPA. Slippery elm can be very helpful for repairing the gut. Vitamins A, D, and zinc can be very helpful repairing the gut. And then be sure you're removing all of those things, those potential allergens, those food intolerances, the gluten, the dairy, other things, for at least a 21 to 30-day period. Because if you don't, when you try to repair, it's not going to repair, because you're constantly still getting that damage there. And you don't want to forget the final R, which is rebalance. And that means to get the stress out. Take deep breaths, particularly taking deep breaths. 3 deep breaths where the exhale is longer than the inhale before you eat can help you digest better. And then you're on your way to a healthier gut. You know, finding a good outlet, a journal, counseling if you need it, if you have past traumas and trapped traumas you want to release. You definitely need this piece in there. You need to remove toxic relationships. You need to set boundaries at work and at home. You need to rebalance your life so that your gut can heal. And basically you can add something, try different techniques. You can try meditation, try something new every week. Meditation, journaling, meditative walks, or getting out into nature, talking to supportive friends or a counselor. Try something new every week to see what really provides balance for you. And then when you finish these and you get to that 21 to 30 day time period where you've eliminated those allergens, you can add back in these foods, but one group at a time, one food at a time every 3 days. And then you need to journal your symptoms to be sure you figure out, like a detective, what is triggering your symptoms. So what I usually recommend is adding the dairy back in first, unless you know you're sensitive to that. But you would add back in like harder cheeses, cheddars, those kind of things that are harder in texture. And then 3 days later, try a different kind of harder cheese. Then 3 days later, try a softer cheese like a mozzarella or a ricotta, something like that. And then 3 days later, trying maybe a cream, sour cream in your coffee, maybe milk if you can tolerate it. Organic is best. And then maybe even ice cream, but to a degree, in moderation. And then if you find you can't tolerate dairy, leave it out. We don't have to have dairy in our lives. Also, you could then add back in gluten. I would add in the higher fiber glutens first, whole grains, closer to the earth kind of glutens that aren't as fluffy, not the white fluffy bread or the pastas or the crackers and cereals until later, and see how you tolerate gluten. Many people do not. Gluten can cause a leaky gut for many, many people, so you may have to leave it out. And it's not the end of the world. There are a lot of gluten-free products. It's best to even not have a lot of processed grains in our lives anyway, but there's a lot of great gluten-free products for, occasionally having a sandwich or having a pasta or having a cracker or a cereal. But it's best to eat proteins and veggies and fruits instead of these processed grains. So remember to like, subscribe to my channel, and to hit the bell to be notified so you can learn more about how to fix your gut. I also have my Trust Your Gut program. If you want to learn more about the keys to healing your gut, sign up for my free webinar. Or you can go directly to book a call with my team or myself to learn how our Trust Your Gut program works and how we can really individualize it for you, coach you through it, and help you heal and recover your gut health and get your energy and your life back. I'm Dr. Shelley Meyer. Like, share, subscribe, and thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next Friday.